All right, fellas, so today we're gonna be taking a look at my collection of Red Wing boots. And when I started the channel like 3 years ago, I didn't even have a pair of Red Wings yet, but I had my eye on them. I had to save up for a little bit. And when I got my first pair, I was hooked. And if you subscribe to the channel, and if you don't, hit the subscribe button right now, you know that I love Red Wings. They're by far my favorite boot company out there, and that's why I have such a big collection. And after a few years of collecting, I have 9 pairs of Red Wings. And it's not necessarily gonna be an in-depth review of each one of these boots, because I actually did individual reviews for most of these. And if you wanna check those out, I'll put a link in the description below to each one of those. But I'm just gonna quickly run through each one and basically go from my least favorite to my favorite and just talk a little bit about each one. All right, so let's get started. Now, I know I said I'm going from least favorite to favorite, but I really do. I love all these boots in different ways, and sometimes it honestly switches which one's my favorite or not. But I'm just gonna start with these. These are the 8138s in Briar Oil-Slick leather, and I love this leather. It's my favorite leather. Hopefully you guys can see it pretty well. And these, I remember, I love the Moc Toe design. It's probably their second most iconic design behind the Iron Ranger. I remember when I met the Cavalier for the first time, he was wearing these, and I was like, I gotta get a pair of those. So I went on eBay, and I saved the search term for my size, and sure enough, after like a few weeks, one popped up for like 115 bucks, factory firsts, scooped them up, and I really liked it in the beginning, but I started to realize as I got more boots in my collection, just in general, that like I'm super stringent and strict about how my boots fit. And because these are just very clunky and tall, really the toe box is just very tall, I talk about this a lot, my foot just doesn't feel very secure inside, and I end up sliding around a lot. Plus, like they're very heavy, these boots, and so I kind of just feel like I don't really gravitate toward these as much as I would have liked to. I think I should have sized down also, of course, because I bought them on eBay. It's kind of like a final sale thing, so they just don't get as much wear as I would like. And plus, I usually wear like business casual stuff to work every day, and these are just super casual, so I don't end up wearing them all that much. So 9th place right now is the 8138 Moc Toes. Now let's get to the second pair, and these are also Moc Toes. These are the 875s. So these are also a very classic, iconic boot. This is probably the most popular leather for this boot style, for the Moc Toe. And they only make, I'm pretty sure it's very hard to find the Oro russet leather in any other style. I think it's like one of these exclusive leathers they use just for this style. And so I had to get them to the collection, and for these, how I got them, and you'll notice, guys, I didn't pay retail for like any of these boots. I found them at Nordstrom Rack. Right after quarantine, I was with my brother. It was like 40% off the whole store. They were just trying to get rid of inventory. And I got these for like $160 with 4% off. They're like $93, something like that. And something interesting about these is that like I said, I had fit problems with the 8138s because I had a size 9. They're very roomy. So these are actually an 8 wide. So I went down a full size, which is like 2 full sizes down for my sneaker, but it got the wide, and it actually fits pretty long. Just if you put them side by side, it's almost the same length as the 8138s, but my foot just feels a little bit more comfortable. I can lace them up really well, and so these do feel better, but they're just hard to break in. And like I said about the 8138s, I just don't find Moc Toes super versatile when it comes to style, and I just don't love the fit and feel all that much. To me, the sole is like relatively flat. There's not a lot of support, so for me, I'm just not a big Moc Toe guy, unfortunately, and so that's why these are coming in 8th place, the 875s. All right, so next we got, coming in 7th, these are pretty cool, also a Nordstrom Rack find. These are the 9060s. So this is actually, they call this the Beckman flat toe, and you can see, hopefully, that the toe box is like very flat, so it gives it a sleeker look, dressier vibe. And what's cool about this is that it's this black Klondike leather that as you wear them and as they fade, that top layer of paint is actually gonna fade away, and they're gonna get like brown, which is really cool. And it's one thing I love about Red Wings is that there's a lot of incentive to wear the heck out of them. It's kind of like you gain respect for yourself, for the boots, and from like the boot community. The more you wear them, the more you break them in, and the dirtier and like more beat up they get. So it's kind of incentive for me to beat these up and wear them a lot. But the reason they're coming in 7th place is because these are black, and just the nature of things is that all of these fit great, and I like the style a lot. I just don't wear black that much, and I really struggle to find, honestly, pants that go well with them. Because they're like a shiny black, it's almost like dressy. So like when I wear jeans with them, to me, it doesn't really vibe so well. So I just struggle to find pants that really look great with these. I'd love to hear from you guys, because I know these are like a cult classic. A lot of people love these boots. If you have a recommendation for what kind of pants go with them, leave a comment below. But yeah, these are coming in 7th place. This is the Klondike Beckman flat toe 9060s. And this was a crazy deal. I got these at Nordstrom Rack, 25% off of like 90, so these were like 70 bucks. Insane. All right, so the next boots we're coming to, This is a new leather. This is called the Copper Rough and Tough leather, and this is a pair of Blacksmiths in Copper Rough and Tough leather. And these are dear to my heart because this was the second pair I got, also from Nordstrom Rack, factory seconds. And these came in at like $115, something like that. I actually saw them like a month before I bought them, and I was like, hopefully when they do clear the rack, it's 25% off, I'll go pick them up. Sure enough, they were there, so I got these and wore the heck out of them for basically a whole season, for like a whole winter, spring. And I really love these. The one thing that I found, and this is like kind of a knock on myself, is that I know that no pair of boots is perfect. I always tell guys, when I see people complaining on Reddit or in comments and stuff, is this okay? My boot's a little bit off, whatever. No pair of boots is perfect. I was just telling David before. And this one, hopefully you guys can see, it's got a ton of loose grain. Now, if you guys don't know what loose grain is, it's just very wrinkly over the vamp where you have that bending. And it just means basically they took the hide that they made the leather out of from a joint on the cow or something like that, that it wasn't, it was like a joint. So it moved around a lot, so it gets a little bit wrinkly when you wear it, and it doesn't affect the performance of the boot at all. It just doesn't look as nice. And if you look at this one, I don't have any loose grain. So I really love these. The fit is great, and I always recommend this leather for, like, if you're getting a first pair of Red Wings and you're worried about breaking them in, it's gonna be painful. I always recommend this leather because it's kind of like Hawthorne's Chrome Excel, if you guys know that one. It's really waxy, so it doesn't require like any care. They're kind of rain resistant. They smell great, fantastic, and they're stylish. I love the color. I got compliments on these a lot when I wear them. They got this, the copper name is actually dead on. It's like a copper color, and they actually patina really, really well. So these have a good, a really strong place in my heart, but just that loose grain kind of does affect how much I actually do end up wearing them. All right, so yeah, so these are number 6, the 3343s. And yeah, more about the point, like I was saying about no boots being perfect. To me, that's kind of a big appeal to collecting boots and getting a bunch of pairs, is that every boot is different. And it's like kind of like if you're buying sneakers, right? You want like every Yeezy to be perfect, to look exactly right, and they all look the same. And it's like the total opposite when it comes to collecting boots. Every pair of boots is different. It's using different leathers, and the staining is gonna be a little different. The hides are gonna be a little different. And the more you wear them, the more different they become, because they get scuffs, they break into your foot. So they're meant to be worn, they're meant to be beat up. And the more you do that, the more unique they become to you. Okay, next pair is the 3141, and this is the only Chukka boot in the collection. Again, made from that Briar Oil-Slick leather. And these have a good story. Brooks Brothers was having in New York City a sample sale, so I love Brooks Brothers. I had to head over there. And Brooks Brothers is an authorized retailer, at least they were for a short period of time, for Red Wing boots. And I saw these for like 70% off. Normally they're like $240, something like that. And I bought them for like 80 bucks. And these I had to size up on. If you guys are interested in these, always size up. I have 8.5s in some of these. I got 9s in some of these, but this is a 9.5. So size up like one full size from your Red Wing size with these. But I really like these, and when I first got them, I kind of wasn't so into them just because, I don't know, they don't have that classic Red Wing rugged look about them. It's just a Chukka, but they're super light, which I really, really like. And also, I find them a little bit easier to dress up with like different outfits. You can wear these with chinos, no problem. And also, they're just very comfortable. The toe shape is almond, so it doesn't have that classic bulbous toe that the Blacksmiths or Iron Rangers do. So it just makes them kind of unique. And I like having the convenience of a Chukka. It's really easy to lace these up and to take them off. So I'm actually a big fan of these, and I'm happy that these are the collection. They don't get a ton of wear. They don't get a ton of compliments because they're kind of like nothing crazy special about them. But I do like these a lot. All right, the next pair up is one of my new pairs. It's the 8083 Iron Rangers, and I love the Iron Ranger. We'll get to my other pair soon, spoilers. But these I actually had my eye on for a while because I just love that rough out leather, which is basically they just flip inside out, the leather. So normally the interior would be on the outside. They just flip it inside out and it gives this like suede-like appearance. It's really cool, very casual, looks like a Timberland boot kind of from afar. Of course, we don't wear Timberlands here on the mensch. Now, it's very hard to get Red Wing boots factory firsts for below retail price. So these retail for $320, but like a month ago, Nordstrom had their yearly sale, whatever it is, and it was 15% off if you spend $300. So I got these for like $250 and change, something like that. And I could talk about the Iron Ranger and why I love it so much, basically all day. But I do a yearly review on my other Iron Rangers. So if you want to head over to my channel and check those out, definitely do so. Now for these, I kind of have that same issue where it's a really casual looking boot. And plus I've seen pictures of these on Reddit that are like really worn and they get really dirty. So to me, the mixture of like the fact that it's just very casual and they get really dirty, and I don't love that because they get like black and they look super just like, I don't know, they look very worn out. It doesn't have that like rugged vibe. It's just like they get super dirty. Now, unfortunately, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep these because, listen, $250 is still a lot of money for a pair of boots. And I kind of feel bad, not really, but I kind of feel bad about owning so many pairs of boots and specifically so many Red Wings, because kind of the joy of wearing boots is having like your small collection and being able to wear the heck out of them as much as possible. And for me, just having so many kind of detracts from the whole point of collecting. But part of the reason I do have the collection I do is because of the channel, so I can share like information with you guys. But I do still feel bad about like owning so many. And so for that reason, I'm not sure I'm gonna hold on to these, but definitely let me know in the comments below if you think I should. But we'll see, I'm not sure yet. So let's get into the next pair. Now these are pretty special. These are the 8076s, and these are a Japanese only release. I did a short video on these, and it's a really funny story. I actually bought these on eBay like a couple of years ago. I found them for like $200. You can't find them anywhere in the US. And I found them on eBay for $200, so I bought them, and they were size 9, which is my usual size, but they were so big. For some reason, the toe box is just really wide, and so I just needed a shorter boot, and I kind of felt bad. Like I wore them a lot because I just love the style, but I felt bad about having a boot that was a little bit big on me. I didn't really love them as much as I should have. So all of a sudden, like 3 months ago, these popped up from like a small retailer somewhere in like Colorado, and they had a bunch of factory seconds, and these were like $220. So I scooped these up in a lower size, an 8.5, and I actually still have my 9s over there in the corner. I have to get rid of those, but this is just a much better fit, and trust me guys, you want to make sure you got the best fit possible with your boots. And I love the style of these. I just think it kind of reminds me of the Alden Indy. It's got this kind of dressy leather, right? It's like a little bit shiny, smooth, and I love that I can dress them up in like a business casual way while still retaining that rugged feel and vibe of Red Wings. So I just really like these. One thing to note is that this pair does have a little bit of a grainy leather, which is unfortunate. And also, because they're a little bit shorter, they just don't fit as well, because I've mentioned this before, but like when you have a higher boot, it's gonna hug your ankle a lot better, and then they just feel a little bit more secure on your foot. So I do feel like these slip off a little bit, but still, these are my third favorite boot in the collection right now, and I really do love these. All right, guys, let's get to the top 2. All right, so ironically, these are the first 2 boots that I ever bought from Red Wing, and I bought them from Brooks Brothers like 4 years ago, give or take. And because I actually got these first in the mail, and I remember calling David, my photographer, Davey the photographer, and I said to him, yo, these are crazy. Like, I love these boots. And because I was like kind of short on cash in college, I could only keep one, even though it was a great price. Like they were both like $180 or something like that, but I could only keep one. And so I ended up keeping the Iron Rangers. But ever since that day, I always wanted another pair of these. And these are the Blacksmith 3340s in Briar Oil-Slick leather. And finally, after a few years of eyeing them, I finally picked these up like last week. I found them also on like a random store for $265, which is like the most I've ever paid for Red Wings. But because I really wanted them, I pulled the trigger, and they're really beautiful. Even David, when we just walked in and saw them for the first time, he's like, yo, these are really nice. And again, it's the same thing where I think just my style over the past couple of years has gone a little bit more, not dressy, but more business casual. And so these are the perfect, in my opinion, the perfect boot that you can wear dressed up with like an Oxford, clean white Oxford, a pair of dark jeans, and then throw these on. It's got that red tint to it, beautiful, waxy finish to it, easy to take care of. And it's got that really clean design, clean lines, a little bit of a bulbous toe, but that's what you get with Red Wing. And just really stoked to have these finally back in the collection. It was a long time coming, but really excited to break these in. Now, speaking of breaking them in, just check these out side by side, right? This one is the original one I got 4 years ago. These I just picked up. And this basically summarizes the reason I collect in the first place. The reason for this video is that these just look awesome. These are my Red Wing Iron Ranger 8111 amber harness leather boots. And I don't know what to say. Like, I just love these things. They're iconic. I love the design. This is like, if you want to start with Red Wing, this is really the boot you should start with. The leather, the amber harness leather, it's a pain in the butt to break them in. They're super stiff when you get them, but I'm telling you, it's so worth it. To me, the Iron Ranger just fits beautifully on my foot personally, and it's got that curved collar, the bulbous toe, it's got the cap toe there, the triple stitching. It's just beautiful, and I actually love that mine. I've got scuffs all over the front of it. No shame whatsoever. I'm very proud of it. And I actually like the patina somehow. I don't condition these all that much. I try to keep that to a minimum, but they kind of have this like dark tone to it in the front by the tip. And I really like that. I think it gives it a lot of definition. Just naturally, that's what happened after wearing it for so much time. And I wish, maybe I'll show you guys the insole because it's totally conformed to my foot. It's got that leather footboard. Underneath that is a bunch of cork, and it's just molded to my foot beautifully. And when I put them on, they just like, it's just like amazing. It just fits perfectly to my foot, and they're so comfortable. I can wear them all day. I mean this seriously. Like I always talk about how like compared to sneakers, when you have a nice firm insole, it's like an orthotic that's just molded to your foot. You're not gonna have any back pain. You're gonna feel comfortable. And to me, I just feel like myself the most when I'm wearing my Iron Rangers. Maybe that'll change over time. Maybe I'll end up switching back over to these Blacksmiths at some point. But to me, these are really my top 2 boots. And like I always say, if you guys are looking into getting to Red Wings, and this is like a video that you've been eyeing, I always recommend just go for it. Go for the 8111s. Don't be scared of the break-in. Get a pair. I'm sure you'll be happy you did. Something that's funny to note is that it has the original cork nitrile sole that Red Wing made. They don't make those anymore. They go with this one. This is a Vibram mini lug sole. It's very similar. People happen to love these a lot, so it's kind of cool that I have this, like, because they're discontinued, I kind of feel like I have like a little collector's item here. But just love these boots like crazy, guys. And that's gonna do it. That's my collection. I really do. I think this is all that I need in terms of collecting Red Wing boots. Of course, I always say that. But I wanna hear from you guys. What is your favorite Red Wing boot, and how many Red Wing boots do you guys have in your collection? I'll be answering comments below, so let's get that discussion going. Now, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.